think it's hard because I think in any scenario, deconstructing the pattern that they're going to have to go and perform at is the obvious goal. You're going to be faced with maybe two scenarios, and one scenario is a lot harder than the other. First scenario is you have the luxury of time, as in you get to say, yeah, you have this extended period of time, maybe over many months, to work yourself back up to a rotational power to either swing a golf club, hit a volleyball, swing a bat, throw a baseball, whatever it may be. And then on the other scenario, you don't have the luxury of time. You're an in-season management of this athlete, and PTs get this. It's not just the first responders on the field. It's say, hey, a football player is coming in after a Friday night injury. They felt pain on Saturday, which is maybe not that uncommon. It lingered on Sunday, and now it's a problem on Monday. They're going to see you on Monday as the therapist or the provider, and if you're in that luxury situation, and say, can I go this Friday? And you've got to be able to go through those steps in a very strategic fashion, understand what tissue's at fault, understand your tissue timeline healing kind of foundational knowledge, and then what patterns do they need to be able to do, and deconstruct it in that moment and see how far they get up to or close to the necessary movement pattern for their sport, and decide in a moment, can you either go in 4 days, can you go in 7 days, can you go in 2 weeks, can you go in 4 weeks? That's an art, and I think that we could all probably provide examples for people listening to learn from, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because, man, it really comes down to what's the injury, and of course the degree of the injury, but also the position they play, and like what's demanded on them. So, like, for example, I mean, and I have not worked with these people, so I couldn't say, but just as current sports athletes that we see out there, if you look at Gronk, for example, as a tight end, if he comes down with a hamstring injury, you know, if he can kind of run at 70%, 80%, he still has a spot with a helmet on and pads on, because he doesn't have to outrun people.
No.
He can block, he can certainly get a little separation, and he's so big that he's still valuable and he's a big target, right? Versus if you have Tyreek Hill, who's maybe the fastest guy in the league, if he has a hamstring issue, the way he wins is he gets separation. I mean, it's kind of spectacular.
Yeah,
just see someone be 5 or 10 yards ahead of another NFL player, especially a cornerback or a safety, and he's just like light years out in front, and it's just like catches wide open balls. So if he's got a hamstring issue, that's taken away from him, and now he's got to be able to get separation at 10 or 20 yards and do comeback routes and shorter routes, and that's not his game. So he may not be effective to be back out in the game, just as a type of player that he is, you know. And those are same thing at the quarterback position. I mean, you could say something about Tom. You know, Tom could have a broken leg, and it may not matter because he only has to take 3 steps, you know.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't matter. But if you're Russell Wilson with a broken leg, you're done for the season, because that's your gameplay, you know, it's your strategy. So it does get down to specificity of style of play, and at the elite professional athlete level, you do have to make those decisions, and those calls become valuable.